Today on Mike Attempts, installing a Bosch dishwasher. This 15-year-old Whirlpool dishwasher is loud and doesn't clean like it used to. Time for an upgrade. You're all gonna have to do it too. Clean out all the crap from under the sink. Ah, that's better. The first step is the most important. Turn off power to the dishwasher. Then turn off the water. Remove the bottom panel. Open the electrical box. And use a voltage tester to be sure you flip the correct circuit breaker. Or you can confirm by trying to turn it on. Once you're sure it's safe, remove the wire nuts and cut the wire coming from the wall. Slide a pan under the water line connection and unscrew the fitting. Remove the screws. Disconnect the drain hose. Stuff in a paper towel and yank it out. Put the end of the drain hose in a bucket to catch any water. Bosch dishwashers come with a power cord. If you don't have an outlet, you can either buy their Junction box or add an outlet. Place a container under the water line connection and remove the old line. Since the water connection on the Bosch is at the back, I don't want to reuse this PEX line. My old water line hole is just a little too high. Bosch wants it no higher than 7 inches from the floor and no further than 2.5 inches from the wall. You could use a larger hole saw and run all 3 connections through the same hole. I drilled another hole for the electrical wire. The drain hose needs to be at least 33 inches off the floor, so I'm going to reuse the existing hole. While I was back there, I decided to caulk the edges and grout lines. If the dishwasher were to ever leak, I want the puddle to come forward so I can see it rather than draining into the gap along the wall. I installed an outlet under the sink, but I'm not an electrician, so it's not included in the video. An outlet tester lets me know it's wired correctly. This outlet is on a GFCI protected circuit. If yours isn't, be sure to install a GFCI outlet. I secured the wire with a plastic staple, but it isn't pretty. Here's my new Bosch 300 dishwasher, but I'm not going to show the unboxing. If you can't figure that part out, maybe you shouldn't be installing it. I bought a new dishwasher supply line with a 90-degree fitting on one end. You can get a straight line and buy the 90-degree fitting separate, but that's just one more connection that could leak. Here's where the water line connects. Do not remove the white filter. Be careful not to cross-thread the connection and don't use Teflon tape. Once hand tight, I put a black mark at the top and tightened another quarter turn. You do not want to over-tighten it. Run the power cord behind the strap and plug it in on the other side. If your sink is on the opposite side, run all 3 connections through this strap instead. Next, measure the height of the cabinet opening. Then turn the front feet clockwise until the top is a ½ inch lower than the opening. Adjust both sides until the front is level. There are 2 mounting options. For top mount, insert the brackets into the top slots in this orientation. For side mount, bend the end back on itself along the dotted line, then insert them into the slots on the sides. Bend the flanges down to lock them in place. Position the dishwasher close enough to the opening so you can start feeding the connections through the cabinet. Push it 1/3 of the way into the opening and then pull the slack into the cabinet under the sink. Push it in 2/3 of the way and repeat until it's flush with the cabinets. Center it in the opening so the gap is uniform all the way around. There's a screw at the bottom in the center that adjusts the rear height. Turn the screw clockwise to raise the rear. Keep adjusting until the front and top are level. Open the door and remove any additional packing material. Use the supplied wood screws to secure the dishwasher. If you ran all 3 connections through the same hole, you can use this black bracket to create the high loop required for the drain hose. Cut the top part off and screw it to the inside of the cabinet where the clip for the drain hose will be at least 33 inches from the floor. Slip the clamp over the end of the hose, press it onto the drain connection, and tighten. Hand tighten the water line, and then use a wrench to tighten another half turn. I used a couple zip ties to hold the excess, then plugged it in. Turn on the water and check for leaks. Turn the breaker on and test it out. If everything looks good, press in the toe brackets, secure them with a screw, install the toe panel, and you're done. Feel free to rate this video, add your comments and questions below, and subscribe for more.